Hi and welcome. I'm John and this is Unique Wargaming. Guys, welcome back. For everyone that's new, this is the Monday painting video. What's the Monday painting video? What's it all about? Well, the Monday painting video is essentially a painting video, but the model or models in question are voted on by you guys, my viewers, from last week's Weekly Wednesday, which is a weekly Q&A. In that video, I'll show you a host of models and you guys vote on what you want me to paint for Monday's painting video. In the event of a tie, I do a dice roll. So for all my regulars here, guys, I feel love. Thank you very much. I'll see you in a minute. Right. So the zombie head bust won the vote. I'm actually very excited about painting this guy up. The only two things I'm going to note, when I printed this is a 3D print. When I printed it, the base didn't print properly, so it doesn't sit like flat. That's not a big issue because I can make a little stand to sit that into. And the jawline here didn't print properly, so when I went to connect it, it was slightly off. But a bit of hot glue in there, you don't actually notice it, especially as a zombie. You're not going to really notice anything. There are some points of interest, like this area here. He's got a gash on his head. Obviously the face, the eyes, the nose, the teeth. He's got a little gold jewellery around his neck. It's going to be an interesting paint. He's got a couple of little sort of scar bit there on his arm. So first colour I'm going to come in with. See, I could really just be silly with this and come in with some youth and grey. Leave that to dry, the Plague Bearer Flesh, contrast paint. Leave that to dry, touch up a few highlights and job done. I don't want to do that. I want to really go to town on this guy and practice doing eyes and, you know, stuff like that, and skin tones, and just trying to get it, you know, the way that I like it. But also when I'm in a, you know, better position workshop wise than I am now, I'll have a glass cabinet. So when you're seeing the Weekly Wednesday, the glass cabinet will have things like this inside it so you can see them. So I want to have that on display. If someone comes over to the workshop, when the glass cabinet's there, they can actually, oh, actually, let me have a look at this. And, you know, but anyway, I'm going to start with Vulcan Green first of all. And what I'm going to do with this lovely colour is I'm going to slap it on the skin. I think I've watered that down a bit too much. Try not to get the chain. Just want to get all the skin. Doesn't matter if we're going to the stonework for now, because I've tied that up afterwards. I'll crack on with that. Right, the reason I did the green first and not the stonework on his base is because I don't want to do the stonework and then come to the green and it hits on the stonework and makes it look horrible. Whilst that's drying, I'm going to come with some youth and grey. And what I'm going to do with this lovely colour, I'm coming into all of these little gashes that he has all over himself. I'll just tuck it in because I'm going to come with some really good blood effects in here. One horrible one up here. Get that. Not a big issue for me if it mixes a little bit with the green. What I do want now, I'm going to get the eyes and the teeth. A bit of a tongue in there, let's just get that as well. tasty. Get a top bit of gum. I'm going to leave that to dry for a little while. Once that's dry, I'm going to start working on the stonework. I'm going to come with some Troll Stout Orange. And this is just not going to be the main colour for the stone, but I'm going to take some. I'm going to pick out random tiles. My brush is too wet. What I'm going to do then is, I might do a few more, I'm not sure yet, but I'm then going to take some Eshin Grey. I'm going to do the same thing with the rest of the tiles on there that I do not paint with the Troll Stout Orange. So I'm going to go off camera and do those. And so now I'm going to come with some Retributorama. Don't worry about that orange there, because that is a loud paint. It will dye itself down, give me this sort of look. What I'm going to do with Retributorama now is I'm going to come in, I'm going to get his chain before I get too carried away with the skin. It's going to really stand out from the model then. I'm going to do the rest of that. Now I'm going to come in with some Beyblade Brown. And what I'm going to do with this lovely colour, I'm going to do his teeth. Now some of you say, but you've done his teeth with the, the Youth and Grey, but I wanted to see where the teeth were, or are, should I say. So I'm going to come in with this and get all the teeth. It looks absolutely menacing. There's still a little bit of wet. The Vulcan green, which I need to leave to dry for a few more minutes. What I'm actually going to do, I'll start it on camera now and then I'll come back to you afterwards. I'm going to take some Cadian Flesh Tone, okay, on the wet palette. I'm going to water it down so it's more like a wash, okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply it to the skin. Now I don't want to get every single square millimetre, but by applying it to it, it's going to give me like a fleshy look with a green sort of undertone coming out as well. So I'm going to crack on with the rest of that, avoiding the little wet patches I can see. Do them afterwards. So here we are. You look and go, what the hell have you done? But don't worry. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to come back in with some Cadian Flesh Tone. It's still wet, but what I'm going to do is try and just highlight certain areas that I want to enlighten a bit more. or where I think there's too much green coming through, just bring up a little bit. It's not fully wet, there's some areas that are dry, but just majority of it looks wet to me. So I'm just going to do a few little bits. Probably should leave it to dry. I'm going to leave it to dry and then come back. Right, so it's looking very nice. I'm coming with some Niagara from Night on the wet palette and some Genestealer purple. And what I'm going to do on the wet palette is mix the two colours together and water them down. And quite a dark sort of purple with the Genestealer type of a pinky look to it. Then what I'm going to do is get the lips. Yes, that cow is still in the shed because he misbehaved, so he's not coming out. I don't want to get the teeth here, I just want to get the lips. I think the teeth look amazing. The lips look good as well. This is starting to look very, very nice. So what I'm going to do now, this might be a bit too bright actually, but I'm going to come in with some Emperor's Children. And the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get his tongue. And his gums. I think his tongue's a little bit too bright, but we can wash that down, dark that down afterwards. Like I say, that Reichland Cadian flesh tone is starting to almost dry on this guy now. So what I'm going to do is go back to that colour and just pick out, try and pick out a few bits and pieces here and there without knocking the camera again. Just like the cheekbone, just try and bring it up a little bit. The leftover part of his nose. Just come in and just where that green and that the tone is mixed. Still a little bit wet there actually, but just try and just highlight a few little bits around the edges as well of the cuts. Like this bit behind the ear, because you can see more dark than skin. So just come in and try and just blend it off a little bit. It's giving me the fleshy look. I don't want it to be too dark in places, or too light. It's a hard thing. Bear in mind, this is my first bust I've ever done, so actually I'm really enjoying doing it. It's actually a totally different type of challenge of painting. And if you do paint models and you do have a 3D printer, I would suggest printing off a bust and giving it a go, because it is a totally different scale of painting. I'm going to just have a little flick around and see if I can find anything else that I need to do. I'm very pleased with that. Next, I'm going to come with some Flopius pink contrast paint, and only because I know this works very well, because I've done it before. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the paint and slap it into all the wounds with the Youth and Grey already in there dry. It's going to make it look very fleshy. I want to get into every little nook and cranny. Again, it doesn't matter if I go over slightly. I think that's all of that. I do want to check a little bit in the nose here. Just make it look really flesh. There's a little gash on his face there. Oh yes. One thing I'm actually going to do, I'm going to take a little bit and just put it on his tongue, just to darken it down a little bit. That's a lot better. Oh. The next challenging part for me is the eyes. What do I do with those eyes? I'm going to have a little think. I was thinking maybe Corax white or Corax grey or something like that. But what I thought with the eyes is I thought there was little lines going into it, so I could just wash them in. I mean, that does look absolutely menacing. Oh my goodness me. Anyway. Right, I'm going for an out there moment now. I'm going to come with some non-oil. Some people are going to be screaming, what the hell? I've had a little idea. So I'm going to apply some non-oil into the eyes there. And the idea is that I've had non-oil, because it's a shade. Now, bear in mind, I could have gone with Druid Violet, just a very simple, easy thing. But for me, the non-oil is going to go in around the edge of the eye sockets, and then come back with a little bit of Youth and Grey afterwards, and just give a little gentle rub into the middle of the eyes to give it a little bit more of a. Wow, I'm really pleased with this. So I have to look at that contrast paint, because that seems to be pulling away from the bit that I want it to stay into. Very, very good. I really like this. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to come in with some flesh shade. So I'm Raglan flesh shade. I just want to dull it all down and tie it all together really nicely. Because to me there's a few little areas that look a bit, not blotchy, but just a little bit weird. So I'm going to come in with the flesh shade. Apply that over all of the skin areas. And if there's any little bits that are wet, it is going to blend it all in nicely. So I'm going to go off camera and do this. Next I'm going to come over with some Agrax Earthshade. And this is just for the stone. So all I'm going to do is wash the stone down. That ties all that in nicely. And I'm going to go off camera and do the rest. Right, whilst the shade is still drying, I'm going to come in with some Blood for the Blood God technical paint. This is an amazing paint. And as you would have guessed it, guys, I'm going to come in and slap it in here. Actually going to try and get around the edges a little bit as well. Now I do have to leave it all to dry before I can come do the last little bit I want to do on the eyes. Right, so the last thing I'm going to do is take a little bit more Youth and Grey, a little tiny bit, and I'm going to bring it into the middle of the eyes here. Just give it like a little bit of a sort of a whitey grey look in the middle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the ends of the teeth as well, the very end of the teeth, and just give them a little touch just to make them stand out even more. And I'm calling this guy done. Before I get too carried away, I'm very happy with him, very pleased. Now, apart from the misprint on the sculpt itself, which, you know, as I pointed out, you won't really notice it, especially not the neckline. It's just like skin all just wrapped and just contorted. I'm really pleased with this guy. I think the stonework looks amazing. There's still a little bit wet there, as you can see, a bit shiny. And the wash on the skin is still a little bit wet in places. But apart from that, this guy's absolutely amazing. I'm really pleased with him. A massive thank you to everyone who voted. It's my first bust. I do have an Orc bust STL file and a Dwarf bust STL file. I'm not printing at the moment because, as Mark pointed out to me, with the way the weather is, and you print outside in like the workshop here, you're going to end up with more misprints because the resin won't reach temperature properly. With that said, the weather's been absolutely lovely, apart from first thing in the morning. But I know if I start printing something, the weather will turn and I'd be like, I'd be halfway through printing. So I just said, no, just hold off for it. It gives me a chance to stock up on resin, methylated spirits, etc. Anyway, back to what I'm saying. I'm very, very pleased with this guy. Any comments or anything, as always, guys, chuck them below as always. If you're new to the channel, seeing this for the first time, hit the subscribe button because it costs you absolutely nothing. Turn your notifications on so you don't miss anything. Everyone smash the thumbs up button so it triggers YouTube to this video have more people, which makes this amazing. It is a really amazing community of you guys grow even more. I'm actually really impressed with it. I hope some of the techniques I used on this bust helps anyone with anything. It's just really nice. I like it. I can't wait to have a glass cabinet to put it in the glass cabinet. Take it on show. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hit the buttons for me. Comments below as always. Until next time. Oh, thank you for voting as well. Again, if you voted on something that didn't win this week, don't panic because everything has to be painted. I mean, I think this guy was on there for months since summertime, so it's good to have him finally done. Anyway, guys, hit the buttons for me. Until next time, thanks for watching. Take it easy.